Here again with another Shameless Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am every watcher you're watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you find out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that are wondering, I've seen Shameless all the way through at least one time. Some episodes I've seen multiple times, but I'm just rewatching the show because I know a lot of the show is really good, and then there's a couple seasons that are really bad. Maybe more, but right now I'm on the good stuff. So with that in mind, this will be Shameless Season 6, Episode 11. The title of this episode is called Sleep No More. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Franny is home now and has been crying all night, keeping Fiona and the others, but focusing on Fiona from not sleeping. Frank is entitled to walk Fiona down the aisle, he tells her. Frank even says he'll pay for the wedding, or pay for portions of the wedding. Fiona doesn't believe him, of course, but Sean offers to take Debbie to school, even though she wants to do everything on her own. Like, I'm giving you a ride to school. This is not something that we haven't done before. I can give you a ride to school. Lester from immigration has arrived at Kev, V, and Svetlana's place. Carl is now at Mr. Winslow and Dominique's house and wants to be a police cadet. Caleb suggests crashing at Ian's place due to the noise at his place. Ian says it's worse over there. Caleb actually gives Ian a Superman lunchbox. A teacher won't let Debbie into class with the baby. Frank has Liam help him in one of his schemes to get money, to raise money for Fiona's wedding, and pretend that Frank is kind of poor to a degree, but Tommy gives Lip a hard time at the alibi. Debbie comes into the alibi telling Lip she got told to enter alternative classes, and she actually allows Lip to hold Franny while she goes to the bathroom. So she finally said, here, you can take her. She should have took a quick nap in the bathroom as well. Frank pays for Fiona's deposit. Ian has his first day training as an EMT. Lip apologizes to Ewings, and he wants to Ewings wants him to grade more papers. Fiona doesn't get the sudden interest in Frank, in his interest in her happiness, because he's never cared before. Frank says seeing Debbie give birth made him realize how much stuff he's missed over the years. Ian's boss is actually pretty cool, or his supervisor. When Ian gets a call, she tells him, don't forget to bring your girlfriend out for drinks later. And then Ian says, I'm gay. And she says, bring your boyfriend. No one gives a shit. I just think she was pretty cool, even at that moment as well. She seemed like really down to earth and really like fun to be around. Now, Frank gets home and is happy to see Lip holding the baby. We can touch her now? Frank gets all excited and he goes to touch her. Debbie's like, oh, you look terrible. So Frank cleans up a little bit, like washes his hands, and he holds the baby. Fiona makes a bet with Sean. He thinks Frank will let her down in one day. And she says, too, if he wins the bet, he has to go down, or if she wins the bet, Sean has to go down on her every day for a week. And if Sean wins the bet, Fiona has to give him a blowjob every day for a week. Doesn't Fiona do that already? I don't know. That's what a lot of women do. A blowjob a day keeps their man happy. I don't know for sure. I know some women do that though, which is always nice. But Frank goes to see Derek, Derek's dad, I should say, and Frank wants money, and he keeps mentioning that Debbie is underage, like putting it in them that Debbie at any point in time could go to hire whoever and tell, like, hey, I was underage when he got me pregnant, and then Derek would be in a whole heap of trouble. So Svetlana wakes up in the morning and goes down on V, or was this at night? Now I'm not sure. I can't remember what this was. One of G-Dog's people, we're assuming, throws a brick through the window of the Gallagher place, and the name Frank is on it. So they want Frank to have a brick. Frank shells out another $1,000 for Fiona's wedding. Svetlana wants to play pool, but it's not the pool that V has in mind. It's having sex on a pool table, essentially. More papers to grade for Lip. Ewings wants Lip to keep his shit to himself. He doesn't want to be friends with him anymore. He just wants to do business and just, yeah. Debbie passes out, and this was very traumatic to see while doing studying and breastfeeding Franny. Franny just kind of falls on the ground. We hear a big thud, and we are expecting, or I should say, I'm expecting the worst at that point. Fiona calls Lip, "Hey, you're not going to believe this. Frank just forked over $1,000 for her reception." Lip complains about deadbeat dads and has to go. He starts drinking. And then Fiona goes to church to drop off her marriage license to Sean. And she's really happy doing a little dance in there. V tells Svetlana they had sex last night. Or, you know what? I put tells Svetlana. Tells Kev about Svetlana. It's not just sex. Kev says he's pissed off but turned on at the same time. She tells Kev she wants to keep doing it with her and him and them. Well, Kev, wow. That's, I'd be all for that, especially with V and Svetlana, or Lana, whatever you want to call her. Yeah. Ewings and Lip get into it. He tells Ewings, "You don't give a shit about me." Ewings tells Lip he's officially fucking fired. Lip says, "Fuck you." And Rita, that's Ian's boss, the one that our supervisor boss that's really cool, knows that Ian lied on his application because his background check came back that says he committed himself voluntarily to the psychiatric care, or was it psych ward, whatever you want to say. And Fiona comes home to Franny crying on the couch, and Debbie's laying underneath the stairs saying that she dropped Franny. But Franny seems okay. That thud that we heard, I thought the worst. Franny was broken her neck or something, but she was okay. Must just got a bruise, if even. I don't know what happened, how she, babies are kind of delicate, so dropping them, and she was pretty high up, from where I am right now. It's 2.5 feet to the ground approximately, so I don't know. Sean confronts Frank about the brick that was thrown through the window. Sean tells Frank he's not going to ruin his daughter's wedding. And then Frank and Sean start fighting. Fiona gets mad at Frank and tells him to get the fuck out of here. Fiona tells Sean, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" She tells him she doesn't have a heart when it comes to Frank, so he's not going to hurt her. Lip has hit rock bottom and was smashing, I believe, Ewing's car with, was it a crowbar or a baseball bat? That's a detail that I should have easily saw, but for some reason, when I wrote crowbar, but I'm starting to think it might have been a bat, but probably was a crowbar. Don't know, not for sure, but that's what I wrote. And then we have Frank on the subway talking to a random guy. He asks Frank how much money, and Frank, what? And then it's how much money to take Sean out is what this guy is, going at. And Frank is "Oh, it's my stop." And then Frank doesn't get off on his stop. And then he gives Bruno half of the money and says, "You'll get the other half when the job is done." And then we have Kev asking, "Are we going to have a fuck schedule or a fuck calendar?" Which was really hilarious. It's the mid-credit scene to officially end the episode. So I really like this episode. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of strong performances by Frank, by Fiona, by V, Kev, and Svetlana. Even the immigration guy was pretty funny. He knows they're fucking lying, but he can't prove it because their story is airtight at the moment. So I'm going to give this episode a 9.0 out of 10. And my character of the episode for the females, I'm going to go with Fiona, although maybe I should give it to V. I have a feeling she's going to win it a few times in Season 7, though. And then for the males, I put Lip down. I'm actually going to change it to Frank, because Frank was an integral part of this episode. He did a lot of stuff, and I kind of forgot that he did a lot more. Lip just was drunk. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. if you're a fan of Shameless and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button. It does help out quite a bit. Share the video with a friend that likes Shameless. Put this video on any one of your preferred social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Shameless. What would you rate the episode, and whom would be your male, female, or just one character of the episode? And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You are watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to put my Shameless series finale rant video right here so you can check that out, assuming you've seen every single episode of Shameless. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.